What is a hornet? A small creature, yet powerful, stronger than a bee, able to sting more than once, with a sting that is painful and unforgettable. Hornets do not attack without reason, but when threatened or when protecting their home, they strike with force. But in the Bible, hornets are more than just insects. In Exodus chapter 23, verse 28, God says He would send hornets ahead of His people to drive out their enemies. This is repeated again in Deuteronomy chapter 7 and in Joshua chapter 24, showing that God Himself would go before them. But something interesting happens. When Israel fought against kings like Sihon and Og, as recorded in Numbers chapter 21 and Deuteronomy chapter 3, there is no mention of hornets. So, what does this mean? Was God speaking literally, or was there something deeper? The answer is found in understanding that God often speaks in parables. The hornets were not just insects. They represented something greater. They represent the Word of God. In Deuteronomy chapter 20, before Israel went into battle, the priest would speak the Word of God to the people, and the people were expected to believe and obey. This is the key, because victory did not come from strength. It came from obedience. When the walls of Jericho fell, it was not by power, but by trust in God's instruction. As promised in Deuteronomy chapter 11, when the people followed His word, God Himself drove out their enemies. This reveals a powerful principle. In Exodus chapter 23, verse 22, God says that if His people obey His voice, their enemies become His enemies. This pattern appears again and again. In Exodus chapter 14, the people were told to stand still and watch God fight for them. In 2 Chronicles chapter 20, they were told the battle was not theirs. And in Ephesians chapter 2, we are reminded that it is by grace, not by human effort. So what is our role? Jesus answers this in John chapter 6, when He says that the work required is simply to believe, to trust in the Word of God. This is what the Bible calls the good fight of faith, as written in 1 Timothy chapter 6. So, when we read about Israel's army, we must look deeper. They are not just a physical nation. They represent believers. As written in 2 Timothy chapter 2, we are soldiers of Jesus Christ. And just like them, our victory does not come from our own strength, but from living according to His word. Because when we believe, when we obey, God Himself fights for us. And that is the mystery of the hornets.